Hey, what's going on, guys? I got another 1GX Pro video for you. So today we're going to be checking out Remnant Rise from the Ashes. Turn on the fan here. And you got to excuse my room. I was doing a lot of rearranging and stuff, so I haven't got a chance to make as many videos as I wanted to this week. But let me tell you guys what you need to do in order to play this at the best capacity. Well, in my opinion, the best capacity. All right. So, Remnant Rise from the Ashes, along with a lot of games that were released on what's this platform called? I forgot that. Oh, Epic Games. So it seems like most Epic Games have some kind of resolution issue with this 1280 by 1920 by 1200 screen. So if you want to run Remnant Rise from the Ashes as well as Outriders, if you see there, I got the Outriders demo also because someone requested that to do a gameplay test and see how it goes. They both have this issue, and along with a lot of other games like that Wolf game that came out, was it Werewolf game? That plays on here too, but it has this resolution issue. In order to fix that, because it has a scaling issue, not resolution. So in order to fix that, you want to go to display settings, right? And then you want to go to change the display resolution to 1280 by 800, right? So that's basically our 720p. So it'll keep the same aspect ratio, but it'll be 720p, right? Then you want to try to run Remnant or Outriders. Because the reason why, see, it's harder to explain if you guys don't see it, but if you just try to run Remnant, Outriders, Werewolf, certain games that don't recognize 1920 by 1200, and the game will look weird, stretched out, it'll have a strange resolution, and it will be basically unplayable. And that's in full screen mode. So this game also has issues in full screen mode, whether you're on 1280 by 800 anyway. So you have to play this in full screen windowed mode. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't work any other way. So I'm going to show you guys what settings to put. Well, my recommended settings. Let it load up. Sorry, I should probably turn off my lights so there's no auto-focusing issues. Give me a second. Alright. So here we got Remnant Rising from the Ashes, right? So before we get into gameplay, let me show you guys my settings for this. And you can pretty much copy those settings and then work your way up or down from there. You want to go to settings here. Go over to video, right? Now, if you look at my video settings here, I don't know if it's clear or not. No, the highlighted thing is not clear. But anyway, it's window full screen, you see? If you put full screen, doesn't work. The resolution breaks. And I think that has to do with Intel not having any scaling options in the Intel graphics. It doesn't have any scaling. I think that has something to do with it. But put full screen window 1280 by 800, which will compensate for not being able to go full screen 1280 by 800 or 1920 by 1200. So with full screen windowed, I noticed that obviously the performance is lower than it would be full screen. But when I put this full screen, the resolution is so shit that it's not even worth playing. You'll see what I mean if you do get it. Because the scaling is like very strange. You can't even play the game. You can't even see the menus. I'll demonstrate it for you after this video. I mean, at the end of this video, so you can see what I'm talking about. But the performance is the best when it's full screen. But I'm going to show you guys to get the best performance out of 1280 by 800 with windowed full screen, which is what I would recommend. So if you like motion blur, you can turn that on. I disabled the virtual sync. Okay, so we can see how high the FPS can go. Right now we're at 185, but we're in the menu, so I put everything pretty much low. Everything low. Okay? Now, I was mixing low and medium, and I had some high textures, but because it's windowed full screen, you want to keep everything low. Okay? And what else? I have this thing on that says minimize latency. I don't know if that really does anything or not, but it doesn't affect performance. But that's it. You just put everything on low. It's the easiest thing to do. And then if you want, you can mess around and work your way up from there. So what I'm going to do is play the game so we can see gameplay. Again, I'm sorry for my camera focusing in and out. Try to make this as straight as possible without moving my hands too much, because that'll move the whole... I also got to try not to breathe too hard, otherwise the camera is going to drift. Alright. So if you guys can see it, I do have the FPS on the screen. Right now we're running at 95 FPS. Now, you'll notice that it has to load first. Just like the Remnant on the PS4 or PS or, you know, Xbox. It looks like it loads the level for a second and then everything's good. So right now you should get a smooth frame rate. Okay? Well, not a smooth frame rate. It'll jump sporadically because we don't have VSync on. But for the most part, it's going to be 60 or higher. You get 91 FPS in some areas. You get, you know, it does drop sometimes, but mostly it stays at 70, 80, 90. Really don't know what causes it to drop at random moments. See, we're at 100 FPS. But that's because it's on lower settings, right? So, like I said, you could turn some things up. But when it does drop, it becomes obvious when you turn things up because it's not such a high frame rate like it is now. But if you leave it at these settings and you don't have a problem with running everything on low, you're not going to have a problem playing this game. So let's go into a level and we'll get to gameplay. And then I'm going to show you guys the resolution thing I'm talking about and how and why I recommend to do it this way with Remnant, with Werewolf, the Werewolf game. There are other games that also have this resolution glitch with 1280 by 800. But sorry, I don't mean to talk over the game. Let me just show you guys a little bit of gameplay and how I horribly miss enemies that I aim at sometimes. And remember, let it load a little bit for a second. You know, look around. And now you're in the 80s and you know, in the FPS area. But it does seem like it has to load shaders first before it starts being playable. So, all in all, playing it on this device is better than playing it on the PS4 and the Xbox 3 and the Xbox One, because I've played this game on both. And the frame rate is significantly worse. Significantly worse. I don't know what they were thinking. Oh, it's a root rat. Don't get that root rat. I stand toe to toe with root. That's right. Excuse me. Sir, do not shoot at me and then run. That's childish. You're playing childish games. Where'd he go? Oh. He shot at me and ran. Now he's camping. Come on. This is not Call of Duty. What are you camping for? Anyway, I'm moving a little closer so you guys can... Hopefully it focuses. And that took 228. Don't try to run. Anyway, so guys, of course, this is totally playable. What the? Is that a boss or something? He was on fire? Anyway, I didn't get very far in this game. You guys are probably like crazy far and stuff. It's because I used to refuse to play this game without my friends. And my friends that play this game don't play often, unfortunately. So if we progress without each other, then we become higher level than each other, and we're not even, and that kind of beats the fun out of the game when one person's bossing out, killing a whole bunch of enemies. But what I did is I created a separate profile where I can play by myself, so I can, you know, have some fun playing Remnant on the go. Now, also worth noting, this is with 20 watt TDP. This is not the default TDP. This is 20 watts, so this is like 5 watts more than the default TDP. Default TDP is 15 for those that don't know. You can change the TDP up to 20 watt. 20 watt is the max on the BIOS by opening up the BIOS. All right, you can get up to 20 watt TDP. Now, other people have been using third-party software to increase that. I don't want to say I don't recommend doing that because it's worked out for them. It's just not something I'm going to do, because if I want to increase power while I'm at home, all I have to do is plug it into a GPU. Remember, we got Thunderbolt 4 ports on the back. If you increase power past 20 watt TDP, the battery is going to be so weak that you're only going to get like 1 hour. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of it being portable? But that's just me. If I wanted to only be plugged in all the time, I could just plug it into a GPU. And I have that option. I have an RTX 2080 Super and an external graphics card that I use for broadcasting. I actually don't even use it for gaming. But anyway, to each his own. If you wanted to do that, you could get max settings on everything if you have a good GPU to plug it into. But the point of this video is to show that it can actually be played on the go. How long depends on how much TDP you have. I think you get about 2 hours with 20 watt. And if you buy a battery pack, you can extend that longer. I have actually a battery pack I could recommend you guys. If you want to know that, just go ahead and leave me a comment and I'll send you the link. The battery pack I use, it makes this device last on 20 watt TDP. It lasts about 7 additional hours, 6 or 7 hours on top of the 2 hours that you get from running on 20 watt TDP. If you're playing like retro stuff, it'll last significantly longer. So, and it doesn't take long to charge. Anyway, so that's Remnant. I just wanted to show you guys it does play. It plays well. You can lower the field of view if you feel like it's. I like this field of view. But you can lower the field of view if you want, and it'll load less stuff that's out of your viewpoint. But this field of view is fine. The performance is fine. You'll definitely be able to play this on the go. And that's pretty cool for this type of game. But let me give you guys an idea of why I'm recommending you guys to change the resolution. Let's exit this first. And let's go back to the default resolution where we always put things, right? And then I'll show you guys the problem. I could have emulated the problem with 1280 by 800, but I'm going to emulate it with, well, I only see 1920 by 1080. What is this? Okay, 1920 by 1200. Okay, so our default resolution is 1920 by 1200, which is nice, good, and sweet. So let's open up Remnant Rise from the Ashes. And let me show you guys what happens. But yeah, just follow my settings. You guys should be A-okay. If you're running in 20 watt. If you're running in 15 watt, I don't think this game could handle it, but it would be so many frame drops that are noticeable that probably not a good idea. Okay, so let's go to video. See, video says 1280 by 1200, so right now you're getting the full resolution, but it's sharper, it's more beautiful, but performance will drop at full screen windowed 1280 by 1920 by 1200. But let's see what happens when we go full screen, right? Look at this. What the hell, right? Let's get into a game. And you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna notice this not with a lot of games. Very few games do this, and it seems like most games that are coming from Epic Games are doing this, and I'm not sure why. But for the most part, you want to play games in 1280 by 800 to begin with on this device. All right, so look. So we got full screen, right? But look at this. It's flat. It's like somebody stepped on everybody and the whole world in the game. And look at this. When you press down, look at this. Whoa. What the hell? It's like you're in the Twilight Zone. Now, the performance is better. But is it better enough where you're going to suffer in a flat world? No. Don't do it to yourself. And then look, the menus are all screwed up. What? I can't even read that. I don't know if you guys can see what I see here because my camera, all the menus are all bunched up together. They're all broken up. We don't know what the hell we're doing here. And we're like, oh no, let me change the resolution. This is no good, no good. No good, my friend, no good. And I can't even get to that part. I don't even know how to get to, okay. Whoa. I can't even get to the menu because I don't even know how to get there. Okay, options. Oh yeah, you gotta press R. Oh. Okay, so we're in full screen, right? Okay, we're in full screen 1920 by 1200. Maybe that's the problem, right? Let's go down to 1280 by 800, right? Nope, it does not change the problem. It just increases the performance. Now we're in 1280 by 800, but we're still in the Twilight Zone, okay? We don't want to be in the Twilight Zone. It's not a nice place, okay? So let's go to back there and say, okay, Rahim, but the reason why it's doing that is because 1280 by 800 is not a regular resolution. Try 1280 by 720. Okay, let's try that. It's still screwed up. Look, we just applied 1280 by 720. So this is 720p, right? Still glitched, weird, flat world, Twilight Zone hell. And still the menus are all screwed up. Even you could put it 1080p, it's still going to be the same issue, right? That's why I'm trying to tell you guys. So at first, when this happened, I deleted this game. I said, wow, this game is not playable thanks to Iris graphics, non-scalable trash. But then, I said, what will happen if I leave it in windowed? If I leave it at full screen windowed and change the resolutions, what happens? So let's go, let's go full screen window. Okay, not in 720p, obviously, but oh god, I can't even see the menu at all. But this is the problem, guys. This is the resolution issue I was talking about. So it's glitching now because we went from full screen to full screen windowed. Okay, and now I don't even know where we are. Are we in full screen windowed now? Is it working? No, it says according to this, we're in windowed mode, see? Which is a ton of crap. Because if we were in windowed mode, we wouldn't be full screen. Unless it changed the overall resolution of the game. So right now, it's looking good. But it's saying I'm in windowed at 1280 by 1200. Which is BS. So let's go to full screen window, right? Now it's working. It just didn't work before, right? Now it's working. You can go back to window. See, but that's what I'm saying. It's some very weird stuff going on. That's why I said, remember, you got to think about full screen windowed like this. You can't do full screen windowed in 1280 by 800 to get that resolution performance if the original resolution is not 1280 by 800. So in order to get full screen windowed at 1280 by 800 to get the best performance, you have to actually change the resolution in Windows like I showed you, just for this game, because at 1280 by 1200, I'm sorry, 1920 by 1200 window full screen, sure, you can play it and it's sharper and stuff, but the performance drops enough where it's you're actually feeling it. And you don't want to feel the performance drop, because if you feel the performance drop, you can't aim correctly, because now you're dropping frames. That's how bad the performance drops. It turns to like PS3, I'm sorry, PS4 version, where the frame rate is so sporadically low and weird that you can barely do. I mean, you can still play it. I'm just complaining because I like at least somewhat smooth or, you know, stable frame rate. But anyway, if you look at the beginning of this video and see the gameplay, you'll see that even though it's more sporadic when it's it's more of a higher end sporadicness than a lower end sporadicness. Like right now we're at 47 FPS and we're only in the menu. I mean, we were getting up to 100 FPS and dipping down to between 60 and 100. And sometimes 55 or something like that. I'd rather have that than be struggling to get to even 50 FPS in a main menu and never reaching 60. See, look, the average frame rate is 50. You'll be lucky to hit 60. So definitely follow the instructions I showed you at the beginning. I just wanted to show you that this is what happens with this game. Okay? And it happens with a few other games that are from the same company. I mean, not from the same company, but I don't know if they set it up that way or what. So you want to make sure you lower only for these games. You don't have to do that with every game. Only for these little handful of games, you want to make sure you lower the resolution to 1280 by 800 before you jump into the game. Okay? Well, I'm sorry for rambling about that, but at least you guys know you'll be able to play it. No problem, take it with you on the go. And we're going to check out Outriders in a sec. So I'll see you guys in the next video.